What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today we're talking about the latest from Zoya. I've got their Magical collection for winter/holiday 2023. We've got 6 brand new nail polishes, but before I get into that, if you haven't heard of Zoya before, they are a mainstream salon brand and all of their polishes are 10 free, meaning they are free of 10 of the potentially harmful ingredients that can be found in nail polish. They are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So like I said, we've got 6 brand new colors. 2 of them are cream finishes, 2 of them are shimmers, and then 2 are hollow, sparkly kind of shades. So I was honestly really intrigued when I first saw these colors. I thought they were really gorgeous, but of course I had to try them out. So let me show you the swatches first. Then we can talk a little bit about my thoughts on them, my thoughts on Zoya in general, pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I'm using the Orly Bonder base coat. So we'll start off with this first shade, which I believe is called Bisoux. The names in this collection, I will say, are a little bit trickier for me who is terrible at pronunciation. I always like to look up how to pronounce words, but Zoya polishes are named after people and it's harder to find a definitive pronunciation of a name usually, so just trying my best here. But this first shade is a really stunning sheer pink cloudy base that has a ton of hollow sparkle running throughout, as well as some really gorgeous golden shimmer. And honestly, I loved the way that this one looked in one coat as just kind of like a sheer look on the nail where you could still see the visible nail line, but you got so much of that sparkle in there as well. I think there actually might also be some iridescent sparkle in here too, because some of the glitters just shift a little bit differently, but it is just so packed in there, it's kind of hard to tell. But I also love the way that it looked in 2 coats, and in 3 coats I was able to pretty much cover up the visible nail line and you could see what that cloudy pinky color was as the base. So it's really nice to have the option to either wear it as a more sheer look or wear it as a more full coverage look, but I honestly love it every single way. Next up we have the shade Fairleigh, and this one is very similar to the first shade and they look super similar in the bottle, and on the nail separately you might think that they look similar as well, but this one is actually pretty different. You can see in just that first coat it was a lot more sheer of that base color, but we actually ended up getting even more hollow sparkle in there, and I believe there's also a blue metallic glitter running throughout because this one definitely had a more cool tone to it, and the base color in this one is actually more of a grayed out lavender kind of color, so it's distinctly more cool toned than the first shade. And in 2 coats you could still see the visible nail line, but again super packed with all of that rainbowy sparkle coming through. And I ended up doing a 3rd coat where you could really see the differences between the 2, and you'll also see at the comparison at the end of the video, but pretty different shades, both super gorgeous. I'm also going to try applying it as a topper, so you'll see that at the end of the video, but stick around for that. Next up we have the shade Adara, and I have to say just right off the bat, I do not think that my camera did this color justice. It is an absolutely stunning cobalt blue that has a little bit of a jelly-like formula, but it ends up giving pretty full coverage. So I ended up doing 2 coats for coverage on my short nails, but if you have longer nails you might need another coat. And this one is absolutely packed with an irregular little flaky that looks like it might be sort of an iridescent glass flake kind of vibe. The colors were being very shy on camera, but in person I could definitely see almost like this champagne colored sparkle coming through. But again, super stunning. My camera does not do this one justice. And then we have the fuchsia twin to Adara. This is a really gorgeous shade called Inez, and this one, like I said, it's this fuchsia base color. Again, we are absolutely packed with those irregular flakies that against this color look a little bit more like a golden shade. And again, I don't think my camera did this one justice. I think it's super stunning. I love these 2 shades. I think they also look really beautiful together, and I think these are both shades that can be any time of year colors, but I definitely love that jeweled tone kind of vibe for this time of year. I always love around the holiday season wearing really bold sparkly colors, and I think these both fit the bill. This one was another one that gave me perfect coverage in 2 coats. Moving on, we have the shade Cherri, and this one is a little bit more difficult to describe because in the bottle it almost looks like a reddish toned pink cream, but once I applied it on my nails I found that it ended up being a deeper red kind of color, but one thing I will say about it, it did give me one coat coverage, which was so impressive, but I think there must have been some sort of neon pigment mixed in here somewhere because it did dry down a little bit darker and it also dried down to a matte finish. So I don't think that this one ended up looking like how it did in the bottle. On the nail, as you can see, it was definitely more of a deeper wintry red kind of color, and in the bottle it really does look like that summery reddish pink kind of shade. So a little bit disappointed that it didn't look like how it did in the bottle, but I still think this is a really stunning winter color. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Vixen, and this one is actually a deep brown cream polish. So you can actually see in the first coat, while it's still a little bit less opaque, you can see how warm toned this color is. There's definitely a very strong reddish undertone to it, but once I was able to hit full coverage, which for me took 2 coats, it did look distinctly brown on the nails, and it is such a deep, almost black brown color. So in lower lighting, it definitely looks black. When the sun is hitting it, you can see a little bit more of that brownish tone, but it's just a really beautiful blackened shade. It's very deep, it's very vampy, and it just applied so smoothly. And then here was my quick attempt of using the shade Fairleigh as a topper over Vixen. Because this one was the more sheer of the 2 hollow glittery polishes that I reviewed, I thought it would work, but it ended up looking just a little bit too cloudy, so I didn't love that look. So here are all the shades together, and I have to say, looking at them all side by side, I don't know that I necessarily love this color story, but individually I do love all of these shades, and I feel like they actually pair up into 3 pairs pretty nicely. You know, we have those first 2 hollow kind of shades, we've got the blue and the pink that have that same glass fleck kind of finish, and then we have the 2 creams, and they all look really beautiful in those pairs. And you can also see just how different Bisoux and Fairleigh are side by side. One of them is definitely more pink and softer and more ethereal, and Fairleigh is a lot more glittery and also more purpley toned. So definitely different enough to warrant owning both in my opinion. But yeah, overall I ended up actually really liking this collection, which was honestly kind of a surprise to me, but let's talk a little bit more about why that is. So those are the polishes, and I have to say I am super impressed with these. I think all of the formulas worked really well, and I just really felt the creativity behind this collection. And I have to say, I kind of fell off of Zoya for a little while. I wasn't super impressed with what they were coming out with, but I feel like recently they've really turned it around, and I've just been consistently enjoying their recent collections. I don't know, I feel like I've kind of renewed my love for them, so I'm really happy about that. I think one of the things that kind of put me off of Zoya for a little bit was when they introduced their Z-wide brush. You did have to purchase it separately, and the default was with that round skinny brush, so that was kind of a point of frustration. But now that they're doing the Z-wide brush as their normal brush, I just feel like it's so much easier for me. You don't have to basically pay a wide brush tax, and you also don't have to throw out a brush in order to put the new brush in, so it's a little bit better for the environment. But yeah, I mean, it's really just the colors and the color stories that they've been coming out with that have really been impressing me, and I just like that they're not playing it super safe and just coming out with more basic cream finishes. Like, they're really doing fun finishes, and they're really making fun colors as well. So now let's get into pricing and availability. All of these polishes come in 15 milliliter bottles, and they do have the Z-wide brush as their default brush, which again, really incredible. I love that brush. It just makes the formula so much smoother. The 15 milliliter bottles retail for $12 USD each on the Zoya website, but they also have half-size bottles. They're 0.25 ounces, which I believe is 7.5 milliliters, and those retail for $8 each. So if you want to just get a mini of these polishes, you can just grab the smaller bottle. So yeah, I'm gonna link everything down in the description. You can check them out if you're interested. If they're picked up by any stockists, I will also link those down below. But I am curious to hear what you think. What do you think of this color story? What do you think of Zoya in general recently? And which color of this collection is your favorite? Leave it all in the comments. We can chat about it. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I am doing Vlogmas on my second channel, so I am doing daily video vlogs of my life. I will link that up in the cards. You can check that out if you're interested. And of course, a huge thank you to my supporters on Patreon, my Royal Astronomer Amanda M, as well as my Cosmic Admirals Paula, Ken, and Rosie. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Juliet, and Juliet wants to know, would you rather have no French fries ever again or no pizza? I feel like that's an easy answer for me because I don't really eat pizza often. Well, first of all, let me say, I am originally from New Jersey, so I am a certified pizza snob. The pizza here truly just does not compare to the pizza in New Jersey and New York. So in general, I don't eat it that often, but also I try not to eat dairy, so I really don't eat pizza much anyway. However, French fries, I would say, are possibly my favorite type of food. Like potatoes really in almost any form is my favorite type of food, and French fries are one of the best forms of potatoes. So I would very easily say French fries. I feel like I have pizza so infrequently. Although funny enough, I actually had pizza for lunch today. But I would trade that for French fries in an instant because I love French fries. So yeah, easy answer, French fries, but I am curious to hear your opinion. So let me know, which would you rather never have again in your entire life? French fries or pizza? Leave it in the comments. We'll chat about it. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.